Who is way more important than how. So before I was a dad, right, I was hanging out with a lot of people who just like to party. That's what they like to do. I like to do that too. Did I like it? I don't know. I was just basically trying to avoid my own experience, avoid myself. So for a long, long time, I was just hanging out with a bunch of people who honestly, at their core, were sad, right? So it doesn't matter how much, if how you manifest anything is cheerfulness, determination, and don't listen to anyone, by the way, who says you don't need to be determined. It's nonsense. You do need to be determined to create a good life. If you're hanging out with people who are not cheerful, not determined, they're sad, and you say anything to them, and the first thing that they do is they bring you down about it. Yes, you can manifest things. Yes, you can achieve things, but obviously it's going to be way, 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 way harder than if you have a good circle of friends who are happy, who are taking responsibility for themselves. Now, look, what I'm not saying is that you look for people who are perfect, because no one is perfect. It doesn't exist. It's not a thing. That said, what you can find is people who are working. They're willing to do the work on themselves. Jim Rohn said you need to work harder on yourself than your job. I personally am only interested in hanging out with people who are working harder on themselves than their job. I understand why that'll sound strange, and I get that we need to make enough money to live. And I'm going to get into that side of things in a minute. But the point I'm making here is who you're with is more important than how you're going to do it. Because the support is going to be the crucial thing. A traveling companion. You need a traveling companion, right? Who? You need support. This is getting messy. Let me just rub this out. Okay, obviously in this example, let's just keep going with this, like 10K to 100K in earnings because it's one that everyone can understand, right? But obviously this is the same if you wanted to lose fat, if you wanted to have a better relationship with your kids, if you wanted to grow your social media, if you wanted to find really great new friends, right? This is all true. And when you're on the journey of finding really great friends, what I'd recommend is if you don't have good friends, your own company is not something to be afraid of. Don't be afraid of your own company if that's the best that you've got, right? Who is support? Now, your why, like I said, is basically your sense of courage and your willingness to feel, right? Which equals determination. What is courage? Courage is just willingness to feel, right? That's all courage is. You